lot cooler in here. I keep them up.
It's kind of warm up here, actually.
The warm air from my apartment rises. So.
You lock the door?
Yeah.
Did you see that casting Kathy found?
The what?
Casting.
Oh, cool. Mandolin.
Yeah, it's metal though. It's not not plaster. I thought it was plaster or porcelain. It's actually
Aluminum.
a casting.
Or, yeah. It's by Royal. Doesn't say anything else.
Uh-oh.
Let's see what's going on here.
It's not plugged in. So
It had some kind of identification tag
why isn't it plugged in?
removed.
Or is it just
Nice little
transferred?
hook. Loop mandolin type thing. Yeah.
No, it's not that.
Very realistic. It's got a lot of strings. 5 strings and a bridge, tail piece. With a fleur de lis on it.
Okay, nothing's plugged in here, so.
Interesting. Wonder how much that cost, or if it cost anything.
Okay, that came on. It's not plugged in yet. Are speakers plugged in? Yeah, the speakers are plugged in. So where is it that it's not plugged in? I think that's it. No. I think it was. I thought this is it, isn't it? Yeah, this is Roland. Okay, it's plugged in there. It comes out of there and goes. Maybe. it's this fucking thing, so I thought.
Should get a lot of porcelain junk right here, that's for sure. Knickknacks.
Yeah, okay. Just wasn't making good contact or something. Fuck, that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, it didn't help me either.
Now loading. Date 13th. It's for M, you know. If you take a 13 and put it on its side, it's an M with a line under it.
You know, it's funny because
Pretty cool that 13 is the M is the 13th letter, and if you turn it sideways, it's N.
I made this really cool thing, graphic design, when I was in my Photoshop class, and it was triangles all the way across the page. And guess what it was? Nothing but M's. If you look at it, you know how it shifts back and forth?
Yep.
It goes between M's and triangles. It's really fucking cool.
M's and W's.
Yes.
Depending on which way you're holding it.
And diamonds and triangles. And it just keeps on fucking, it's like, this is interesting. My teacher thought it was really cool. Got a good grade on it.
It's funny. There's like 8 different piano tracks there. I couldn't get it right, but it sounded okay. It sounded fucked up, but okay. Okay, let's see. The last song we got a name on is Nada, and then we got 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. So we'll find out what 57 is. Hey Dave,
Hey, what's up?
not much of yourself.
Well, you know.
Kind of. This is when we were trying to work on a fast thing, so all those with the beat. I don't know which one that was either. So let's see what 56 is. See if it's any more complicated than one track of.
Interesting that all you got the drum track. I don't remember anything about working on that. Maybe you did that.
Well, I think it's probably when we were talking about doing tanks at different speeds and stuff. And I was trying to find a beat that would go along with something. And we were talking about something else, and I came up with, so I wanted to put a fast beat on it. Probably should have recorded talking over it, so we could have said, okay, this is we're doing this with that.
Time.
Okay, now this one is a whole bunch of tracks here, so this might mean something. Hey buddy, no, you used to be Floyd's job over there.
God damn it!
Thought you ought to know he was a friend of mine, a real good friend of mine. Hey buddy, you didn't know him, he had such a smile. Actually kind of interesting. That used to be Floyd's job over there. I know it's irrelevant now. You don't care. Definitely not standard blues type.
Well, I was
Kind of
trying to
twisted
do
all
the,
around. I like that.
trying to get a cat's meow.
Yeah.
Same with the wah-wahs on Floyd. You know, I was trying to get that wow by pulling that note real slow like that.
Although most people wouldn't understand that, but I do. I thought you ought to know.
Using the volume control.
He was a friend of mine, a real good friend of mine. Hey buddy, you didn't know him, he had such a smile. if I can get a rhythm track that will hold together. There's 2 bass tracks.
We've got a way of doing things. Again, I take offense to someone saying that there's okay, maybe with on your Color My World right there, you're working on someone else's song, and a lot of times when we do these songs, we use a drum machine, and it's a drum song, and we're not playing their song, we're just using it as a drum beat, and then replacing it with our own drums. But I really am bothered by anybody saying, because I play in time signatures that a lot of people can't even fucking imagine.
Yeah.
And I also know how to play in more than one time signature at once. And I employ these things in our music all the time. What makes music interesting. And I can play with a digital delay and perfectly harmonize stuff all the way up and down the neck. If you can do that, that's perfect time.
The question now is, do I want to redo my piano part? Because it's a little sloppy. And if what we're going to try and attempt here is to get a little more like Steely Dan, the Eagles and stuff like that, and get the tracks precise.
Everything precise. I started being ridiculous on the bass. That needs to be tightened up.
I mean,
I've got a habit of doing things that I get too excited and I start overplaying.
Get a little sloppy. We get a little sloppy because the excitement and
Like I overplay. But there's times where you've got to make sure you play enough intensity, or you have to overplay a little bit, and it's because the intensity of the music reaches that point. But you want to make it just enough, not too much. And I haven't. With guitar, I don't really do what I would call overplay. But with bass, it's really easy to overplay. Much easier.
Well, because you're playing lead bass, because you're so used to playing lead. And it's really tough to go.
I'm needing to remember always to stay with that thump, with that bottom, with the drum. with the bass drum.
It's really tough. It's really tough.
On the
I don't
blues,
like
you need to put that ba-dump though.
Well, yeah.
Ba-dum, da-dum, 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 da-dum. Yeah. That's the hard thing though. If you don't play it just right,
And you can do.
play the arpeggio or.
But even that gets boring.
Well, no, it's not the boring. It's whether it's in the way of the music. I don't want to get in the way of anybody
exactly,
else.
Exactly.
What I'm trying to do, which the thing is, when you're playing rhythm guitar, you're accompanying everything. When you're playing bass, you're laying a foundation, a bottom end for that accompaniment. You know, and that to me makes those are two totally different things, two totally musically different functions.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm used to one of them all the time. But I purposely got a bass when I was young, learned how to use it. Never played in a band. I wish I'd played my SG cheap Encore bass. I wish I'd played in a band with the bass. I kind of wish I would have played bass in a band at one time or another.
Yeah, just get the experience.
Well, yeah, because then it gives me more of the knowing that I need to play with the people instead of, again, the ego thing got knocked out of me so early. I learned how to play with Greg and Charlie. But when I went to Paul's and there were actual musicians there, a couple of guys, one of the guys could read music. You know, he was much more advanced. 10 years later, he was still playing the same stuff. But
Yeah.
the other guy quit, and they were good. Mike fucking Foster was good. This is just sitting there.
Huh?
Cell phone ringing.
What?
Where'd you have to wait to blow it out?
Yeah.
Or my cell phone somewhere here was ringing. It's going off into Ask the Kathy's
Do what?
cell phone. Someone's cell phone. I got mine in my pocket. I know my ring. What's interesting, Mark? My ring has this 2-note thing, and it's exactly the same as all blues. It's totally different music, but the first 2 notes are da da. And at night, Mark, if you listen, there's a 2-note thing going on outside all the time, and it's just like all blues. Da 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 da. The city makes that sound. I also like to play on the when you play on the A, you want to play this descending bass line. Dun 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 dun. On a slow music. I know what happens to me all.
This is the track we built with the tambourine and stuff right here.
What happens is I start counting the ride cymbal, because that's the best way to stay in time is keep with the ride cymbal. And if I don't pay attention, I start playing all 8 notes, all the 8 notes, which can be done.
Okay, so maybe that's the key right here. Put the bass and the drums together on one track.
Re-EQ the bass a little bit to clear it up by putting in a bunch of low end and a lot of high end and dropping out as much mid range as possible. Even though it gives it a growl, it also muddies up other stuff. The organ's on, isn't it?
Huh?
The organ's on time. Okay, here's a neat thing we can do when you do that bass line like that. It's takes away the blues element and gives it a very synthetic.
What?
When you do that straight bass line like you're doing right there,
Yeah, exactly.
it gives it a more synthetic feel.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that. I like it. Because you're going right with that cymbal and with the bass drum.
Does the bass sound better that way?
Love the bass. You got the bass right.
Does it sound right on it though?
Yeah, it sounds very good. It sounds very synthetic. I like it because, again, we've been writing blues and jazz tunes. Let's do our best not to play. When you play your solos, play some of the stuff where you go type, like those high. Yeah, that's the type of stuff like, and do that for some of your chords. Just that. This is in the key of C, isn't it? With E minor.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it is.
It's the 1-4-5 of minor.
And it's all minors, yeah.
It is the 1-4-5, but you call it 1-4-5 with minors.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely 1-4-5.
Well, it's not 1-4-5 actually because it's
Oh, it is.
6-2-4.
Okay, well, yeah, if you want to, yeah, but it's 1-4-5. It's
Right.
Because the root is the E minor, no matter how you want to look at it. I mean, C
That's why
is
you call
the key, but the E minor is the root.
If it's in classical music, they call it E minor. In the key, but in jazz theory, there is no key.
I kind of like the way that
Other
sounds.
than there's only the major keys because everything's based on the Ionian scale, which is actually the way it is in classical music. They just use the Aeolian as being the one where they start on 6. as the one for 251. Brilliant, actually. Bach. German, backwards.
I like taking it out of its, so it doesn't sound like.
Well, if I want to make sure that there's two different ways to go about things in playing traditional music. One is trying to sound authentic, trying to make it sound like it's a Dixieland band, right? Or like it sounds like a real blues singer. There's nothing wrong with doing things, and we've got the ability to make it sound either way. But
Yeah. I like the way this is sounding.
I like the idea. This song I love to begin with. You know, I've always loved it.
It's actually a fun song. I mean, it shouldn't be. I mean,
I've watched all these programs about the blues, and I remember all those people always say about it being sad music. No, it's a joyful thing. It's a thing of release. It's catharsis.
talking about the bad shit that happens, you say, fuck it, go on anyway, man. What the fuck you doing? Why are you wasting time worrying about that shit? Get up
every day. And that's why he's like, oh, Hannah, I hate to see the sun go down. Hannah is the sun. I hate to see you go down. They sing that all day long. And in the morning they're saying, Hannah, we can hardly wait for the sun to go down. And in the afternoon you're going, I don't want to see the sun go down because then there's some bad people hanging around.
Yeah.
The bad people come out even on the plantation. The bad people come out at night, especially on Saturday. They hoop and holler, get drunk, shoot each other. It's every night.
Bass isn't quite loud like this. It's
Right here. It's interesting that hard drum came in.
yeah.
Again,
That's where it comes in with the. So I just put it down a little bit. I like the way it sounds. I'll try it again.
is that your money or my money laying on the floor right there? I don't know if I have $1 bills in my pocket.
If it's just ones, it's probably mine because I had a whole bunch of ones.
So it looks like a lot of ones right
Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's just a one. I was unloading my pockets here, but it doesn't matter.
there. It's got that 70s spooky movie fucking thing, sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Or even the 80s. And even in the 90s sometimes it still do that. And well, again, the thing about the blues that got me wasn't so much the catharsis first, was the B.B. King singing, going to bed and watching him with that big red guitar. Big heavy, couldn't see it in color. But the music was frightening, it was spooky. You know?
Right there, I put reverb on the bass. Right there, not until then.
See, the
Get
beautiful
right with that bass.
again, if Jamerson was playing, he'd play that. He wouldn't play the eights. And you're not playing the eights either, you're only playing the fours.
Oh, really conscious when I was doing it. Dun. And it's hard to do it coming back down. Oh, cool.
Well, you know, in the last week or so, to compression pills they gave me are starting to work a little bit, but they're really mild compared to the stuff I've taken before. But it's finally, it's working. Now something worked, and it's not really strong like I said. It took a whole month for it to work at all. But God, it feels so much better for the time being. I'm not gonna have to take this forever. It's just,
The thing I like about Shake is it's like the old days. You can sit around and smoke bowl after bowl after bowl.
11%.
Huh?
The one I bought today has 11%. This is 12, 8, almost 13. That's fucking twice as much as the fucking. A lot of time, the stuff we used to get was 3% back in the 70s. This is Shake.
Yep, 12.8, yeah.
This is Shake. And
Exactly.
it's 3 times as powerful, 4 times as powerful stuff was back in the day. But then again, remember what you get? Matchbox, big Matchbox doing stuff for $15 or $10, and then it went to a plastic bag in the early 70s. It originally was a Matchbox.
Yep.
Now, I never bought that, but I used to see that. And I always wondered why hippies always had a big Matchbox with them. They carried, why, did they do that many matches?
Dickie Oak sold that.
What about Chuck? Chuck was a
I
fucking
imagine Chuck,
musician.
I'm sure Chuck probably smoked weed.
Chuck was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Dickie Oaks was cool.
To a point, yeah.
Well, he fucking defended us against all those fucking jackasses all over the neighborhood.
Those were all tight. That was nice and tight. I can't believe that, how good it
He
was.
sounded great. Okay, I will agree with one thing. We've had a tendency to be sloppy. But it's also part of the way we do things. Not the way we do things, it's the way you play.
Yeah.
And I don't know if a lot of people understand how to play things what's called rhapsodic. You're playing something exactly the same way properly every time you play it. But when you play it, you speed and slow up what you're playing to make it sound like you're improvising. Something Dad taught us. I learned from Dad, but he taught me how to do it.
See, the reason I don't do that a lot
Right.
is because it sounds very sloppy to me. And it doesn't matter how good I can do it, it doesn't matter. It still sounds sloppy because it's not things played
Doesn't
together.
sound like the way you do things. Oh, I know why. It's because you're left-handed and you do.
Well, even if I do it with my left hand, still.
Okay, I understand. It sounds more like the beginning of all blues.
I understand the need for it and the process of it and everything, but for
Well,
me,
it's a
for my own,
real
when
high.
other people do it, it doesn't sound like that. It doesn't sound
I know it
messed up.
doesn't. I wonder
When
why.
I do it, it sounds like that. It sounds like there's something missing, and it's not. And I know it doesn't. When I record it and I play it back, it doesn't sound like that. But when I'm playing it, it does. It just really bothers me.
Also, try playing the blue notes.
And it's also because
So mine
it's
is major
also
third.
because in rock music you're trying to fill up the sound all the time, and so
It's also hard.
and if you're going, then you're missing that dun 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 dun, and so there's some breaks in the sound there.
It's the 16th notes. Here. Again, you gotta be really careful, and you don't want to disturb the voices. But I've been listening to all these blues records, things, and Muddy Waters is the perfect example, especially in the early 50s. The first 3 songs, he did 3 double-side records before he was allowed to have anything else other than electric guitar and his voice. And
the other thing is
the
I
4th
don't-
record they brought in the harmonica.
And the other thing is I don't have the sustain pedal on this.
And they did several records with guitar and harmonica, and then they brought in the piano. And when you bring in the piano, and that brings in the rest of the band, but the thing is, it is so.
One of the things I saw today was
The 3
is
different voices playing
the
lead
harmonica a jazz instrument?
Yes,
You know, there's a big talk about that.
Toots Teal.
And then there's also anyway, and there's another one that's called and it's by
Or it can be.
not Max Roach, it's Elvin Jones. After Coltrane, it's called After Coltrane. I thought that's pretty cool.
I was a fan of his ever since I heard of him, and I tried to catch up on everything I could. Again, I don't remember if I caught up with everything, but you know how you and I were pretty meticulous in our interests. I had more money to buy records when I was in my 20s. You pretty much didn't have any money. Everything you bought was fucking with garage sales. But there's a lot of stuff that I could never find back in Wichita.
Yeah.
And that's what led to me finding out about Bud's jazz records, because I read about one of those magazines back in Wichita, Downbeat, and getting to go to Bud's and got to talk. The fact that I
actually going to Bud's was a kick-ass thing. That really was.
Well, yeah, but also not knowing who Bud was.
Yeah.
Until I had to say, I've come into your store a bunch of times, and I'm sorry, but I just wanted to tell you, I am a complete fan of your playing. You've played on some of that fucking record that Jamie had, which was the fucking Race Riot Black, and he played on that thing. Bud Shank with fucking Charlie Parker's drummer. Fucking goddamn.
Right there, yeah. No,
And
I bought records from him. It's like.
And I had to tell him, man, you don't know how much, you have no idea how much you affected me.
But he does.
Your music, the fact that the white person playing with the black people who were saying, we want our civil rights, he's just like, thank you. And I'm like, yeah, well, the thing is there's so few people that are interested in jazz. On The Simpsons, there's one particular episode where...
Bleeding Gums Murphy?
No, this is way more recent. Lisa Simpson plays a version of whatever song it is for her mom, and when she leaves the room, she finally goes, "Oh God, that's over." And later on, she says, Homer says, "Yeah, she played it for me also." She says, "I hate jazz. I just hate jazz." And Lisa hears it from upstairs, and she goes crying. She finds out her mother's been lying to her whole life.
Yep.
And they go through this whole thing where she sings this one cool Broadway song about "Don't Rain on My Parade." It's the exact same song that they use in the Family Guy much earlier. But it's a great example of. And then later on, she and everybody's a handful of kids, and one of the older guys are all playing jazz for the brand new statue. And it starts to rain, and everybody goes, and Bart says, even God hates jazz.
I saw something about that just recently too.
But
God's sitting on a cloud and he's saying, "I hate jazz." I'm trying to remember what the reference was to.
And what's funny?
That's funny as shit. I hate jazz.
Well, blues and jazz both came from slavery. But what's interesting is, here's something they point out in one of the blues things, because I watched all of these the last week, getting caught up. I mean, a couple of them I'd seen before, but other things, man, different interpretations, different people telling me things that I've read in the books too. But they have blues in America, but they don't have them in Cuba. They don't have the blues in Puerto Rico. They don't have. It's only America where it came from, and it didn't come from any place else but Texas and Mississippi. Brazos, Mississippi, in Texas.
It has an interesting tone to it.
Pentatonic scale.
Huh?
You play your pentatonic.
Yeah, I mean, the sound.
Also,
I'm not talking about the sound of the keyboard. I changed it. It was on.
You ever tried playing those pentatonic scales as your trilogies?
No. I'm talking about the sound. The timbre of the sound.
Yeah.
Not that. It sounds more
authentic. Tacky. What is that called? What's the name of that piano sound?
Well, I'm thinking for a rhythm, it might be a really good sound.
I like it 'cause it's nice and bright and crisp.
Especially on the figure.
It's beautiful.
Hey buddy, it used to be Floyd's job over there. Oh, it's irrelevant now. Another year don't care. I thought that you all had known. He was a friend of mine, a real good friend of mine. Hey buddy, you didn't know him. He had such a smile.
Such a while.
I'm gonna try this now. I'm gonna get this
You know, Mark, we played
precise.
this
I
song
don't want to do anything
thousands of
extra on this.
times and hundreds of times at least, and we you didn't even have a problem playing it. Didn't have to go over it, and we played things live a lot of times. Nothing ever went wrong.
Well, things went wrong. We just
When you're playing live, you don't ever even.
go on.
It's like let's.
I think that's another reason Dad didn't didn't want to do that. Singing, you've got a choir. If you happen to miss your note just a little bit, you can get back on it right away. You're right there. It's not a big deal. When you're playing in a quartet and somebody does something wrong, ooh. And Dad made mistakes on the piano all the time, like we all do. But Dad took them to heart, you know.
He also didn't learn to fucking fake it.
Yeah.
He told me, and I took it to heart. Again, a lot of people don't take to heart what people say. A lot of people don't. Okay, it's because of Mom and Dad were both stubborn and obstinate. But when they told you something, they meant it.
It sure did. It sure did. That's putting it
Okay.
nicely. So somebody,
I take things very directly.
there was a question. There was a
way.
question on Facebook that said,
Again, that's why people say I'm real. I'm down to earth.
What do you miss most about your childhood?
Yeah, I saw that and I said I'm not commenting.
Parents. That's what I miss.
You know what?
With all their faults and all
Oh.
their foibles, out of everything that happened in my childhood,
I cannot fault. I cannot fault either one of them.
I would love to be able to talk to them and ask them questions again. The rest of the fucking, I mean,
Mom and Dad were really, really, really okay. Dad was so good compared to so many people.
yep.
Now I don't know what happened in California because like when he comes back to Wichita, it was right when he got married, and Dave died, and he died when he was on the way home or something. knew he had to come home.
I think he came home because he was sick or something.
Yeah, he heard that he was sick and he just left. But you know, he always told me about how he just abandoned the car on the side of the fucking road. I'm not sure if that was one in the 40s or if that was in the 50s when he went back.
Yeah, I know. The sawdust in the fucking train.
Okay, well, it's a 37, and cars didn't last as long then, but they still were designed to last at least 100,000 miles. A 37 in the mid-50s, oh, there were no cars made in the 40s. So yeah, it could have been in the 40s. You know, Dad's story, okay, for example, each time, there were like 3 times that Dad talked about Julie London. One time we were watching Emergency. I told Austin about this one the other day. No, I haven't told about this one. But the first one was watching The Girl Can't Help It. It was on color television the very first time we got cable, right in summer of '79. And I had air conditioning and I had the door. I was watching it. And you know, Dad came in and he says, go ahead and turn the volume down. She was singing that song, you know, her theme song, Cry Me a River. I'm just like, this is a song I heard recently by someone else, and this is the original version. It's like, and he says, you know, that woman could have been your mother.
No, he
What?
said the same thing to me.
And he says, now keep this song turned down because your mother doesn't want to hear that song. She doesn't want to see. And then we were watching Emergency, and she says, and Mom came walking through the room, and she says, I'll bet she would have done that for you.
Yeah.
And the other one, we were watching something, and Mom, then she had that fucking horrifying glance at Dad, and she says, oh, we were watching Grumpy Old Men, and the first one is with Sophia Loren, right?
And Mom didn't like Sophia.
No, that wasn't it. Mom,
she did.
Dad didn't care for her, and then Mom says he more likes. He goes, he likes Angie Dickens, and then he looks over him, then it looks over at him like that, and goes, and her, without saying who it was.
Yeah.
And you know, so Dad knew Bob Troop. Dad knew fucking Jack Webb. But the story of when he was dating a girl that he didn't know was only 15 or 16 was the one with the drunk that chased him around the car. That was her. And he found out she was underage afterwards, and that's when he went, well, fucking no wonder he was trying to kill me. Even if he was a drunk asshole. That booze will make you do things and nothing else will.
Yeah.
Except for heroin. Except for most of the time you just sleep off the heroin. You know, that's a beautiful thing. You do the crimes on heroin when you're completely sober, trying to find more dope. Right? Whereas on booze, you fucking black out and fucking do horrible things, and then you wake up.
Hey, buddy. I used to like that job over there.
Yes, I love that. That texture right there is beautiful.
You don't
The two different ones.
care. Thought you all and all. Real good friend of mine. Hey, buddy, you didn't know it.
Yes.
That's a story.
I thought it didn't quite think it was there.
It's nice the way the other piano's doing the 8 for you.
Well, I'm gonna use it sporadically.
No, the way the eight's going on behind you there, and that gives you. I love 8 counts because I can always come home.
Hey buddy, it used to be Floyd's job over there. Oh, it's irrelevant now. I know that you don't care. But you ought to know, he was a friend of mine, a real good friend of mine. Hey buddy, you didn't know him, he had such a smile. I think that the sparseness of that, I can bring in the other one and make a pretty good little showing here. Hey buddy, it used to be Floyd's job over there. Oh, it's irrelevant now. I know that you don't care. I thought you ought to know. He was a friend of mine, a real good friend of mine.
like it. The organ, man.
Kind of like it. Kind of like it.
I always loved those odd blues records because, well, one of the things about them was they just fucking, they don't have a long ending. They just go, ding, ding.
Hey buddy, there used to be Floyd's job over there. No, it's irrelevant now. I know that you don't care. I thought you ought to know. Real good friend of mine. Hey buddy, you didn't know him. He had such a smile. Oh, it shouldn't have this way. Gone quiet. I'm gonna stop right there.
It's great. Just fucking stop.
Or do I go on a couple of microseconds?
Oh. Yeah. Let it do a short fade or whatever, and cut it off during the fade. Right before the fade ends.
I know I want the drums to end first. I don't want anything left. I can put reverb on them so they sound a little bit fading with everything else. Let's try this one more time.
Yes. That last fucking bit, right there.
Definitely, I think, get rid of the drums right there. I don't know where they were on there, but it was been on, I bet that was on this vocal.
The thing is really interesting. The reason why it was like that is the actual signal to noise ratio.
Definitely have that down there. So, let's see if that sounds right. Actually, it needs to come out a little quicker than that, I think. Okay, let's see.
That's good. Yeah.
So the drums need to come out a little earlier than that. Because they're kind of dragging right there. I don't think that drum beat needs to be in there.
Mm-hmm. Pull it back, yes.
What was that?
Guitar.
It kind of sounds like a cat at the end.
It's supposed to sound like.
Yeah, that was a mistake though. Cutting it off like that is perfect. That's interesting.
Well, again, it isn't quite a cat. You know, again, it's trying to. It's not imitating. It's trying to infer
job over there. Oh, it's irrelevant now. You don't care. But you ought to know he was a friend of mine, a real good friend of mine. Hey buddy, you didn't know him. He had such a smile. No, it shouldn't act this way. Been gone quite a while. But you ought to know was a friend of mine. Interesting. Interesting. I think I can do my piano solo a lot better.
I like it though.
Well, so I'm going to do the same thing, but I can do it better.
I like the fact that the distortion guitar, the rhythm guitar, when it's distorted, it goes right in with the snare drum. It gives that crunch. You could bring it down a little bit on the volume when it's doing the rhythm, but otherwise,
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking is.
but it's got that crunch.
Just making sure everything fits, and it does. It seems like it fits pretty well.
And also, it's interesting when you got this really thick sound, but when you mix it in at lower volumes, it thins out the sound. It's really good.
Don't fall, fucker. Max says when I get back, he's gonna take a straw and let out. And he can't see the smoke, but he sleeps really well. What is it, Birdie?
It's burning. For whatever reason, Mom let me smoke pot in the house in the late 70s and early 80s, especially from 79. Same with that.
You look at me, it was this thing.
It's like it was just turning the other cheek anyway. So there's a long time where I'd take my seeds and put them in Josh's food tray because he'd always have a food tray in my bedroom. And but that one time I bought an ounce of pot when I was a junior in high school. Kevin bought an ounce of pot, excuse me, and left it on the dining room table when we went out walking, and we came back and Josh had eaten most of it, and he was scattered all over. We had to fucking clean up the fucking living room before Mom got home.
Mom and Dad had quite a menagerie as we were growing up. And they would eat all kinds of stuff. Percy eating cantaloupe, and Percy laying on the top of the refrigerator in the kitchen, in the fruit bowl. I remember we looked for him all over the house, couldn't figure out where he was at. And he meowed, and it's like, where the fuck is he? Why are you meowing? First of all, if you're right there, what's that about?
The other thing back there.
And he wouldn't meow when we're going to the kitchen. It's like, where's the fucking cat? And we look for him, not around. Right there.
There's still a piece of it sitting right there, not even started to.
I'm thinking about maybe even using a different piano sound for that.
Well, maybe you thought of playing a single note solo. Instead of chord solo, play a single note solo with another instrument.
Huh?
Use another instrument and play single note solo.
Oh, no. I like the idea of using.
Chord solos are fun.
Well, yeah, they are. But I wanted something that
Something sticks out.
no, actually not at all. Not opposite of that, pretty close to opposite of that. It's more nuanced, I guess. I can't think of the right way to say it.
warmed up.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, that's the other thing.
And it gets more ideas going. And that's one of the problems with
25 years ago, we fucking had been playing fucking 3 hours a night, 4 days a week for a couple of years, working on some of these songs.
and
that-
well, yeah, and
It takes time for it to come back, though.
all the times of doing it and all of the differences. I want it's like I think it'd be really cool if we could get a sound, you know.
Our sound, you mean?
Yeah, and I mean we have, but it's not
Distinct.
yeah, well it is because it's not. You know, but that's a problem in the outside world.
Yeah, well, okay, here's...
And it's not like we sound like Pink Floyd at times, and we sound like the Beatles at times, and we sound like Eagles at times.
Kind of like the Doors at times.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like we're
some
trying
of the
to...
music is like Alice Cooper if he got really dark.
Yeah, we got really dark. Yeah, like 666 and...
Or the one I entitled about like a wolf.
Yeah, Randy, like a wolf. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of dark.
A wolf on the chase, not a wolf at
Wolf at the door. Wolf on the kill. A wolf on
jeez.
on the hunt. That's not on the
To
hunt.
the kill.
Yeah, something like that. And then there's also the Bacon Man up in Canada. What's that one called?
Most unusual way.
Most Unusual Way, Part 14 or something.
Sweet.
Mom said it scared her.
Philip said it scared him. Fucking almost gave him nightmares. It reminded him. There's this movie we checked out we got 2 different movies the same night, Mark. One was Henry. We both read the books.
Portrait of a Serial Killer. It was good.
And it's nothing like the real character, except for he's a serial killer, and he does some of the things that are in some of his stories. Considering he says he did upwards of 300 killings. So the other movie was called Bullies, and it was about these fucking bullies that ran this town, and fucking finally everybody in the town got tired of it and fucking killed them all and burned the fucking house to the ground, which is based on that story about the guy in Missouri. Remember about that small town, Missouri, where the whole town killed him in the 70s, and then nobody would talk about it, made the news and everything.
Exactly.
And I've seen a movie about that too. It had some really good stars. But anyway, Philip couldn't sleep that night. I told Philip, other than insomnia, I slept fine. Serial killers sleep well,
I keep wondering if...
and they wet the bed,
Mm-hmm.
but they sleep well, like lions. Like a wolf to the kill is the name of it.
Yeah, that's it. Like a wolf to the kill. So I'm wondering, okay, depending on where you start the solo, it's going to be the whole thing. I mean, it makes a difference on what the texture and the sound of the solo is, and what the melody turns out to be, and it's really interesting. It's really interesting.
There's already a lot of stuff here.
Hey buddy, it used to be Floyd's jaw over there. No, it's irrelevant now. Now that you don't care. you wanna know, he was a friend of mine, a real good friend of mine. Hey buddy, you didn't know him. He had such a smile. Oh, I should have this way. It's not the sound I want to use.
You know,
That's part of that problem now.
I try to always start my solos with as few notes as possible.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to think of. But then that's what I'm going to do.
Then try to get that
But-
first one to be a whole note or something. Dum, ba, da, 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 you know, as opposed to going.
I like that sound. Hey buddy,
You really don't know where the one is, the way it fades in.
it used to be Floyd's job over
You know
there.
the one's right there with the voice.
No, it's irrelevant now. Really, you don't care.
You know, that's the beautiful thing about playing pentatonic with the blues. You don't ever have to do another notes. Only 5 notes, and you can stay on any of them as long as you want. Real
He
tension.
was a friend.
You don't have to make changes to the solo. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Real good friend of mine.
You're saying it over and over. You're saying, that was my real good friend.
Hey buddy, you didn't know him. He had such a smile. Oh, I shouldn't have this way. got some ideas coming now. See, I want to go. I want to get the right one.
You're getting some
I'm not
really
recording
nice, real nice fucking intense thing. I got a little tea. Fucking push that knife.
I want to get it right. I want.
When we were learning how to play music, when I was playing with trying to teach Chris how to play bass, I say put some oomph in it. like you're fucking someone, like you're fucking hammering a nail.
Exactly. You got to get the timing on it, though. It's the timing.
That's what I mean.
It's not the size of the whale. It's the emotion of the ocean. See, it gets too tinny it's up here. It gets too tinny. And it gets too muffled when it's down here. So I gotta compensate for that. See where I'm at there? And like I'm just saying, it gets so, the sound is so brittle up here. Once it gets up to this point, it gets brittle and gets kind of lost in the sound. Kind of gets lost in the mix. Unless I turn the volume up on it real loud. And I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to have to turn the volume up to compensate for the lack of civility.
When you're going through guitars, trying to find the right guitar, one that sounds good in all the ranges.
Yeah, exactly. I know. So that's what I'm trying to do. What sound am I going to use? It sounds great there. I don't want to use organ. I don't want to use... So here's what my choices are. I've got clav. No, I'm not going to use that. That's Venus EP. That's brittle right there. It gets up to there and it's not too brittle yet.
What sound is that
one? Funky EP.
Actually reminds me of the pianette.
Huh?
Sounds like the pianette.
It kind of does, doesn't it? Can't imagine. It's kind of written around that time. I can't imagine using that sound as.
Well, actually, it was pretty fat sounding because it was analog.
No,
it actually.
Yeah. Well, it had the same feel as this.
It had the,
exactly the same feel. No, this actually has a little touch to it.
You know, they had ding dong. Sounded like doorbells.
Some of the keys did, yeah. Some of the keys did. It was an interesting instrument. It was fun. I mean, it was. You know, it was first of all.
Because of my limited knowledge of keyboards, but
it was so much. It was so much better than
nothing.
Well, not just nothing. So much better than like the thing I've got downstairs, that Yamaha EP thing that I've got.
And those were rather expensive when they were brand new. They weren't fucking $25.
The clavinet. It was so primitive, and the thing is that all the other keyboards you would see, and it's not just that one in particular, but all the other keyboards you would see had it, you know, like this. They were done. They were, and that clavinet looked like they slapped on some fucking stain on the goddamn wood and threw it out the door.
It wasn't wood. It was fucking fiber.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was like, and they slapped on some shit paint, that black shit paint.
It's not masonite. Is that masonite the stuff that's just all just dust and made and glued together?
Yeah.
That's what that was made of.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Made Dan Electro guitars out of parts of it, but that's
It was hilarious.
No, it was basically, but
It was fucking hilarious.
but yeah.
There was no plastic covering on the outside of it like there
No,
was.
no,
on
no, no, no,
anything
no, it
else.
was-
This is fucking.
Oh yeah, there's my Dan Electro. Yeah,
It's horrible. It was fucking horrible. There was
Based on the
nothing.
plastic.
God, it was.
But it had not what it had real ivory keys. It didn't have a lot of attributes, did it?
Huh?
It didn't have a lot of attributes.
No, no. It had. And the thing was that I liked about it was that
Do you know what I liked about it?
keys, that notes would disappear in the chord. It would be like, "Where's the seventh? I don't know. I played it. It's not there though." It's like, okay, there's your seventh. So if you're playing a chord, well, that seventh is just as equal as any one of those other ones, so it disappears.
Sounds like it's coming from my effects bag.
It was one of your effects. One of your effects is calling you.
It must be underneath here. I have no idea.
I'm going to try to take on this one, I think. No, I'm not.
Hey buddy, there used to be Floyd's job over there. No, it's irrelevant now. I know that you don't care. I thought you ought to know he was a friend of mine.
What a shitty melody.
Real good friend of mine.
That's it.
Hey buddy, you didn't know he had such a smile. Oh, I shouldn't act this way. Come
See what I did there? I decided instead of starting my solo on the E, I started on the G, which I don't even use in the whole process hardly at all. But I decided to use it there, and I thought, it gave me a whole different idea of which way to go on it, and it kind of bothers me because now I'm going to have to try it on each one of the fucking keys and see what kind of a melody it leaves. What do I want to? What?
Well, here's the whole thing that came up with why I
What do I want to accomplish? What's the accomplishment on this thing?
moved out of. I originally started out not knowing how to play very well, but you have to start out with songs. You know, you have to start out with songs.
Yeah.
We couldn't even play songs with Greg and Charlie, so we made up stuff. But
Yeah.
you just start. You play songs.
Yep.
And at one point, I got to where I was like, I'd learned how to play a lot of stuff, And every song, I'm going, how many different versions can I do of this song? I mean, why? I like jamming better. I wanted to come up with music I could just play some solos over and just not fucking worry about anything else. That's why it happened. It's because like once you're going like I could play 5,000 different leads on this, and every one of them would be perfect.
Yeah, each one of them fits, but it depends on what you're trying to say. So if I...
Well, like your solos, just like the singing. So sing
Hey,
notes.
It used to be Ford's job over there.